My girlfriend said, "I'm leaving you. Mark needs me more. He's going through a divorce." Her high school ex. I said, "I hope he finds peace." 2 months later, Mark's wife called me. "Did you know they've been planning this for a year?" When she sent me the text messages between them. Original post. I, 33 male, was with my girlfriend for 3 years. We talked about marriage, looked at rings together, discussed neighborhoods where we might want to buy a house. I thought we were building towards something real. Then about 2 months ago, she sat me down on our couch, the couch we'd picked out together at IKEA, and told me it was over. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I need to be honest with you. I'm leaving. Me? Leaving? Like, you want to break up? S. I'm sorry. I know this is sudden, but I've reconnected with someone from my past. My high school ex. He's going through a divorce right now, and he needs me. He needs me more than you do. I sat there for a minute processing that. High school ex going through a divorce. Need your more. Me. What did you reconnect with him? A few months ago. We ran into each other at a mutual friend's wedding. We started talking again, and feelings came back. I can't explain it. It's like no time had passed. Me. So you've been talking to him for months. While we were together. While we were looking at engagement rings. It wasn't like that. We were just friends at first. But he's going through something really hard right now. His wife wants out, and he's devastated. I realized I still care about him. I realized I might have always cared about him. I looked at her for a long moment. She was crying. Whether those tears were real or performative, I couldn't tell anymore. Me? I hope he finds peace. What? Me? Your ex. I hope he finds peace. Divorce is hard. I hope he gets through it okay. She stared at me like I'd said something in a foreign language. That's it? You're not going to fight for us. Me? You just told me you have feelings for someone else, and you're leaving me for him. What exactly am I supposed to fight? I don't know, I thought you'd be more upset. Me? I am upset. I'm just not going to beg someone to stay who doesn't want to be here. If you want to go, go. She packed a bag that night and went to stay with her sister. Over the next week, she came back twice to get more of her things. Each time, she seemed confused that I wasn't falling apart. I helped her carry boxes. I gave her the coffee maker because she'd bought it. I was civil, polite, and completely detached. It wasn't an act. Something in me just shut off, like my brain recognized a threat and decided the healthiest response was to feel nothing. She moved in with her ex about 3 weeks after the breakup. I saw it on social media before I unfollowed her. A photo of them together, captioned with a heart emoji and something about second chances. I blocked her and moved on with my life. Started focusing on work, reconnected with friends I'd neglected, got back into cooking for myself instead of just ordering takeout. For 2 months, I heard nothing. I assumed the story was over. Then I got a phone call from a number I didn't recognize. The woman on the other end introduced herself as the ex's wife. Not ex-wife, wife. They weren't divorced yet. She found my number through some mutual connections and wanted to talk. I'm sorry to contact you like this. I know this is weird, but I found something, and I think you deserve to know. Me? Found what? Text messages. Between my husband and your ex-girlfriend. Going back over a year. My stomach dropped. They've been planning this. All of it. For over a year. She sent me screenshots. I spent the next hour reading through them, and by the end, I understood exactly what had happened. They hadn't reconnected at a wedding a few months ago. They'd been in contact for 14 months. The whole thing, his divorce, her leaving me, their second chance, was choreographed. Some highlights from the messages. From him, dated 11 months ago. I can't keep living this lie. I want to be with you. We just need to figure out the timing. From her, 10 months ago, I know, but we have to do this right. I can't just leave him out of nowhere. It needs to look natural. From him, 8 months ago, my wife is starting to suspect something. I told her I've been stressed about work. She bought it. From her, 6 months ago, he asked me about engagement rings today. I felt so guilty, but I know this is temporary. From him, from months ago, let's set a timeline. I'll start the divorce process in 2 months. You break up with him around the same time. Then we wait a few weeks and go public. From her, 3 months ago. Perfect. He won't see it coming. He trusts me completely. That last one hit different. He trusts me completely. Yeah, I did. The ex's wife and I talked for another hour after I finished reading. She was devastated, but also furious. She'd thought her marriage was solid. They had 2 kids together. She'd had no idea about the affair until she found the messages on his laptop 2 weeks ago. She asked me not to share the screenshots publicly. She was in the middle of filing for divorce and didn't want to complicate things legally. I agreed, but she also said I could do whatever I wanted with the information she'd given me. I'm still processing all of this. The woman I spent 3 years with didn't just leave me for someone else. She spent over a year planning her exit while pretending to build a future with me. She looked at engagement rings with me while texting another man about their timeline to be together. I don't know what I'm going to do with this information yet. Part of me wants to just let it go and move on. Part of me thinks the truth should come out. We'll update when I figure out my next move. Update 1. 8 days later. A lot has happened since my original post. First, let me address some questions from the comments. Yes, the screenshots are real. The ex's wife verified them from his actual phone. Yes, they were having a physical affair, not just emotional. There are references in the messages to hotel stays and afternoons together that make it pretty clear. And yes, I'm doing okay. Angry, but okay. Now, here's where things get interesting. After the initial phone call, the ex's wife and I stayed in touch. Not in a romantic way. We're both processing betrayal, and neither of us is looking for anything except answers. But we've become something like allies. 2 people screwed over by the same scheme, comparing notes. She shared more details about how the affair started. Apparently, my ex and her husband had stayed loosely in touch over the years, occasional likes on social media, comments on photos, that kind of thing. Then, about 18 months ago, my ex sent him a direct message just to catch up. It escalated from there. The mutual friend's wedding story? Complete fiction. They'd been seeing each other in secret for almost a year before that. The wedding was just the cover story they agreed to use when they finally went public. But here's the part that really got me. The ex's wife told me that according to the messages, the original plan was for her husband to stay married. Let me explain. The early messages show them discussing how to have a sustainable affair, how to keep their respective partners in the dark, how to manage schedules, and alibis. They weren't planning to leave their relationships at all. They were planning to cheat indefinitely. It was only about 10 months ago that the plan changed. My ex started pushing for more. She wanted him to leave his wife. She was tired of sharing him. From her, 10 months ago, I can't keep doing this halfway. Either we're together for real, or I need to move on. From him, I know, you're right. I'll start laying the groundwork. That's when the divorce narrative started. He began picking fights with his wife, creating distance, manufacturing unhappiness. Also, he could justify leaving and make it look like the marriage had naturally fallen apart. His wife told me she'd spent months trying to figure out what was wrong. She suggested therapy. She tried to be more supportive, more understanding. She blamed herself for not being enough. Meanwhile, he was texting my ex about how his wife was suffocating him and how he couldn't wait to be free. The audacity is honestly staggering. Now, here's what happened this week. My ex reached out. First time since she left. She sent me a text saying she'd heard I'd been talking to people about her and that it was really hurtful that I couldn't just move on gracefully. I didn't respond. An hour later, another text. I know you're angry, but spreading rumors isn't going to change anything. We were never right for each other. I found someone who actually understands me. You should try being happy for me instead of bitter. I still didn't respond. Then a third text. Also, whatever his wife told you is one-sided. She's vindictive because she lost him. Don't believe everything you hear. That one almost made me laugh. She was calling the woman whose husband she'd been secretly sleeping with for over a year vindictive. The lack of self-awareness was almost impressive. I forwarded all 3 texts to the ex's wife. She responded, "Wow, she really thinks she's the victim here." The ex's wife also told me that my ex and her husband have been telling everyone a sanitized version of the story. According to them, they reconnected after his marriage was already failing, and my ex left me because we'd grown apart. No mention of the year-long affair. No mention of the coordinated timeline. Just two star-crossed lovers finding their way back to each other. Some people in their shared social circle are buying it. Others are skeptical but don't have proof. I've been thinking about whether to set the record straight. Part of me says to just let it go. They'll eventually face consequences. Karma has a way of finding people. Getting involved will only drag me back into their orbit. But another part of me thinks about the ex's wife, who's fighting for custody of her kids against a man who spent a year lying to her face. She could use those messages in her divorce case, but she's been hesitant because she doesn't want to traumatize her children. And I think about myself. 3 years of my life spent with someone who was planning her exit for a third of that time. 3 years of trust completely misplaced. The truth matters, at least to me. The ex's wife and I are meeting for coffee tomorrow to discuss next steps. We both have pieces of this puzzle. Together, we might be able to make sure the whole picture becomes visible. More updates coming. Update 2, 16 days after original post. Coffee with the ex's wife turned into something much bigger. We met at a quiet cafe, both of us looking like we hadn't slept well in weeks because we hadn't. She brought a folder of printed screenshots. I brought a timeline I'd put together from our old calendars and photos, cross-referencing dates with the messages she'd shared. What we compiled was damning. Every work trip her husband had taken in the past year lined up with hotel charges on their credit card in cities where my ex happened to be visiting family or attending conferences. Every late night, I remembered my ex having drinks with coworkers, matched up with messages about their rendezvous. The precision of their deception was almost clinical. They'd created a shared calendar we found references to in the texts to coordinate their alibis. They had code words for different scenarios. They'd even discussed what they'd say if either of us got suspicious. From him, 7 months ago, if your boyfriend ever asks about me, just say we barely talk. Old history, nothing more. From her, already covered. He doesn't even know we still follow each other. Reading that hurt more than I expected. I'd asked her once, maybe 8 months ago, if she was still in touch with her high school ex. She'd said no. Said they'd lost track of each other years ago. She'd lied to my face without flinching. Anyway, the ex's wife and I had a decision to make. Her divorce was moving forward, but her husband was playing hardball. He wanted 50-50 custody, claiming he was a devoted father who'd been blindsided by his wife's sudden desire to end the marriage. He was painting her as the unstable one, the one who'd given up on their family. She needed the messages to prove infidelity. In their state, infidelity can affect asset division and, in some cases, custody arrangements if it demonstrates poor judgment or deception. But she was worried about blowback, about her kids finding out, about the social fallout. I told her something my dad once told me. The truth isn't a weapon. It's just the truth. What people do with it is on them. She decided to give the messages to her lawyer. 2 days later, her husband got served with an amended divorce filing that included evidence of the affair. The messages, the hotel receipts, the coordinated timeline, all of it. And here's where things got interesting. His response wasn't remorse. It wasn't even denial. It was rage. He called his wife screaming about how she'd violated his privacy by accessing his laptop. He threatened to sue her for hacking. He said she was destroying their family by making this public. Then he called me. I was at work when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Him, I don't know what you think you're accomplishing, but you need to back off. Me, I'm sorry, who is this? Him, you know exactly who this is. You've been feeding information to my wife. You're trying to destroy my life. Me, I'm not trying to do anything. Your wife contacted me. She had questions. I answered them honestly. Him, honestly? You're helping her build a case against me. Do you have any idea what this is going to cost me? Me, probably about as much as it cost me to spend 3 years with someone who was planning to leave the entire time. Silence. Me, you coordinated an affair for over a year. You manipulated your wife into thinking she was the problem. You let my girlfriend lie to me every single day while you two planned your future. And now you're mad that there are consequences. Him, you don't understand the situation. My marriage was already dead. Your relationship with her was already over. She just hadn't told you yet. Me, that's not how honesty works. You don't get to decide retroactively that the lies don't count because you intended to leave eventually. He hung up on me. My ex reached out the same day, clearly coordinating with him. This is getting out of hand. You're interfering with things that don't concern you. His divorce has nothing to do with you. Me. It has everything to do with me. You were with me while you planned all of this. I'm not interfering, I'm just not staying quiet. You're being vindictive. Me, no. Vindictive would be sending those screenshots to everyone we know. What I'm doing is answering questions honestly when someone who was betrayed asks for help. If you didn't want consequences, you shouldn't have done what you did. She didn't respond. 3 days later, the ex's wife called me with news. Her lawyer had submitted the evidence. Her husband's lawyer tried to get it thrown out, claiming it was obtained illegally. The judge disagreed. Accessing a shared household computer isn't hacking, especially when you find evidence of marital misconduct. The evidence was admitted, and it changed everything. Her husband's devoted father narrative collapsed. The messages showed him repeatedly postponing time with his kids to meet my ex. The hotel receipts showed he'd been billing their family credit card for affair expenses. The timeline showed he'd been actively deceiving his wife while she was trying to save their marriage. The judge wasn't sympathetic. In the preliminary hearing, the ex's wife was granted temporary primary custody. Her husband got supervised visitation and was ordered to pay interim support. His lawyer tried to argue that the affair was a personal matter that didn't affect his parenting, but the judge noted that his pattern of deception raised concerns about judgment and character. It wasn't a final ruling. They still have to go through the full divorce process, but it was a significant win for her. As for my ex, she found out about all of this through him, of course, and apparently it's causing problems in paradise. According to the ex's wife, who still has some mutual friends feeding her information, my ex and her boyfriend have been fighting constantly. She didn't sign up to be with a man who might lose custody of his kids. She didn't expect the social fallout, friends who've seen the evidence viewing her differently, invitations that aren't coming anymore. She's apparently been telling people that I orchestrated a smear campaign against them, that I'm obsessed and can't let go. I haven't said a word publicly, haven't posted anything, haven't sent any messages to anyone except the ex's wife, who reached out to me first. But the truth has a way of traveling on its own. Final update, 23 days after original post. This is my final update because the situation has reached something like a conclusion, and I'm ready to stop thinking about it every day. Let me catch you up on the final developments. The ex's wife's divorce is proceeding. The evidence of the affair has been accepted, and based on what her lawyer is saying, she's likely to receive a favorable settlement. Their state considers infidelity when dividing assets, especially when marital funds were used to facilitate the affair, which they were. All those hotel rooms, billed to their joint credit card. He essentially made his wife subsidize his cheating. His custody situation is still being determined, but the interim arrangement has him seeing his kids only on alternate weekends with supervision. The judge was apparently very unimpressed by the deception and the way he'd blamed his wife for the marriage's problems while actively undermining it. He's not handling it well. The ex's wife told me he's been leaving her angry voicemails accusing her of ruining his life. He's threatened to take her back to court over every small thing. He's fighting the support payments, but he's losing on all fronts because the facts aren't on his side. As for my ex, here's where it gets interesting. About a week after my last update, I got a text from her sister. Her sister and I had always gotten along. She'd been one of my favorite parts of dating my ex. Honestly, she reached out to apologize. Her sister, I'm so sorry about everything. I had no idea she was doing this the whole time. She told me you guys had just grown apart. Me, I appreciate that. I know it's not your fault. Her sister, there's something I think you should know. She's been telling everyone you're harassing her, that you've been sending her messages, showing up places, making her feel unsafe. My parents are furious at you. Me, I've sent her exactly 2 texts in response to her contacting me first. That's it. I haven't shown up anywhere. Her sister, I figured. That's why I'm reaching out. She's been lying about a lot of things, and I'm starting to see a pattern. Her sister then told me something I hadn't known. Apparently, My ex had also been lying to her family about the timeline of the relationship with her boyfriend. She'd told them she and I had been basically broken up for months before she officially left, that we were just roommates at that point, and the relationship had been dead for a long time. That's how she justified moving in with him so quickly. In her family's version of events, she wasn't leaving a loving partner. She was finally escaping a relationship that had been over in everything but name. I told her sister the truth, showed her the dates on our last photos together, reminded her of the dinner we'd all had together just 3 weeks before the breakup, where my ex and I had talked about looking at houses in the spring. Her sister, she told me that dinner was her testing the waters to see if she still felt anything. Said she knew that night that it was over. Me, she seemed pretty happy to me that night. She held my hand walking back to the car. Long silence. Her sister, I don't know what to believe anymore. Me, believe the evidence. There's plenty of it. I sent her the timeline I'd put together, the one matching the affair messages to our relationship milestones, the engagement ring shopping while she was texting him about their future, the vacation we took where she'd been sending him photos and telling him she missed him. Her sister didn't respond for a day. When she finally did, she just said, "I'm showing this to my parents." 2 days later, I heard through the grapevine that my ex had an explosive fight with her mother. Her mom had apparently confronted her about the lies, and my ex had denied everything at first, then eventually admitted that she'd exaggerated some things to make the situation easier to explain. Her mom didn't take it well. According to her sister, their relationship is strained now. Her dad hasn't called her in over a week. Meanwhile, her relationship with her boyfriend is apparently crumbling. The ex's wife told me that he's been staying at his parents' house while he fights the divorce. His parents, by the way, are not happy about any of this. His mother apparently called my ex and told her she was ashamed of what they'd done to his wife and children. My ex is now basically alone. Her boyfriend is dealing with his own mess. Her family is questioning everything she's told them. The friends they made as a couple are distancing themselves now that the truth is out. And here's the thing, I didn't orchestrate any of this. I didn't launch a campaign. I didn't make public posts. I didn't send mass messages exposing them. I did one thing. I told the truth when people asked. The ex's wife asked what I knew. I told her. Her sister asked what really happened. I told her. When lies were spread about me, I corrected them with facts. That's it. That's the whole revenge. The rest, the divorce fallout, the family confrontations, the social isolation, that all happened because of what they did, not because of anything I orchestrated. She spent a year lying to me. He spent a year lying to his wife. They built their relationship on deception and assumed they'd get away with it. They didn't. As for me, I'm doing okay. Not great, but okay. I moved into a new apartment last week. Smaller than the place I shared with my ex, but it's mine. I got a couch I picked out myself and a coffee maker that's never been used by someone who was planning to leave me. I'm not dating anyone. Not ready for that yet. I've been seeing a therapist to work through the trust issues, which are real and significant. It's going to take time, but I'm not angry anymore. At least not most days. What I feel now is something closer to relief. I could have spent more years with her. Could have bought a ring, planned a wedding, merged our finances. Could have been blindsided even worse. Instead, I got out before the lies went any deeper. And I got confirmation that the problem was never me. It was always her. The ex's wife texted me this morning. Her, thank you for everything. I know this was messy, but I don't think I would have had the strength to fight if I didn't have someone who understood what I was going through. Me, we were both collateral damage in their love story. At least we're not alone in that. Her, no, we're not. And they're not exactly living happily ever after, are they? Me, doesn't look like it. Her, good. I laughed out loud at that one. First genuine laugh I've had in weeks. My ex texted me 3 weeks ago saying her boyfriend needed her more than I did. Turns out, what he needed was someone willing to lie for a year. And what she needed was someone who'd never hold her accountable. They found each other. They deserve each other. And I'm finally free of both of them. Thanks for following along, everyone. I'm going to close this chapter now. Time to start writing a new one.